Encoded Fibonacci by Axel Holm. The Fibonacci proportions inspired both Antonio Gaudi's Casa Mila in Barcelona and the project I am sharing with you today. These proportions are found all over in nature, and so I believe they should be mimicked in design as well. My goal was to develop an undulating plane very similar to the one that you just saw in the precedent video. The Fibonacci proportions are as follows: 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, etc. The next number in the sequence is determined by adding the two previous numbers. I selected the grouping of 5, 8, and 13 to act as my proportions. Because I knew how I wanted the numbers to relate, I started by plotting out a grid in this fashion. It was easier for me to visualize my creation by hard coding in these numbers, which was all the coordinates you were seeing as I scrolled through my code. Now, as I change the perspective in which my code is displayed, you are able to see how the grid has been manipulated in not just a 2D fashion, but a 3D one. The points move back and forth along the z-axis, creating this waving plane. But my goal had not yet been reached. I now have the points laid out, but in order to get the fluid form I wanted, I had to use a function other than line, because its effect is just too rigid. So through research within the processing website, I found the curve vertex function, which gave me my desired effect. Again, as I rotate through these different windows of perspective, you can see how the plane exists in a 3D space. I was pleased to finally see what was in my mind's eye revealed within the computer program. But now came the most difficult part for me throughout the course of the semester. I had to work to step away from this hard coding strategy and move into looping to strengthen my design and help me to progress into bigger and better creations. With the correct use of the loop function, I would be able to continually call out the proportions that I desire while altering the way in which they are used. It could allow for not only planes to be made, but also any Euclidean form of geometry, such as paraboloids or hyperboloids. But for me, this proved to be a very difficult task. I found that I lacked the previous knowledge that would allow me to move on to these sorts of manipulations. I struggled to recreate what I had achieved earlier while hard coding. These windows you see here are examples of the new planes I was attempting to create. While I was able to plot the proportions again, I could not get the fluid forms to return. It is for this reason that I am proud to announce I will end my presentation with a proposal for how to get more out of this course, and will be better for the future generations of students who will come through not only landscape architecture, but any of the programs within the College of Design at Iowa State. Through the suggestions of some of my other classmates, I explored a website known as Code Academy. What I loved most about it was that it started out at the absolute most basic coding knowledge. I believe that this course should be split up into 200, 300, and 400 level courses, so that by the time a student reaches graduation, they'll be far more knowledgeable than the students at our competing schools. Thank you.